Hi, welcome to Off the Path Learning. My name is Lisa, and today I'd love to show you Labrador Tea.
Skies are full of dirt and gray. City's kids come out to play, running into broken glass from old deserted windows. Dollar winos fill the streets, pool room music, soulful beat, and gulfs of gray and dirty air in the inner city limits. Children running hopeless heat along the dirty junkie streets, where women sell themselves to men through ruthless mediators. Sidewalk cracks deep and wide, children kneel to look inside. Pennies, maybe nickels, dropped in passing.
Hi guys, welcome to Off the Path Learning. My name is Lisa. Thank you so much for being here. Today I'm really excited to show you Labrador Tea. Unlike my last video on Shrimp of the Woods, where I just stumbled upon the mushroom and wanted to film it for you guys, so had an intense period of studying the mushroom, this is a plant that I've been trying to get to know for years. I've been consuming it for years also, and so I'm very happy to be able to show this plant to you now. Early fall is the perfect time to be harvesting its leaves for consumption because it's a plant that has been known to help with SAD, so seasonal affective disorder. It's great for treating the winter blues and overall uplifting your mood. So in this video, I do want to give recognition to the people who speak about Labrador Tea as a plant that can be used medicinally, because I realized in preparing for this video that not a lot of people talk about this plant. And so I want to talk about those people. I want to talk, of course, about its traditional use by the First Nations. I want to talk about my own history of use with this plant and what I'm looking forward to doing with this plant that I haven't done yet in the future. I want to talk about a few toxic lookalikes that usually grow right next to Labrador Tea. I want to talk about the life cycle of the plant with you, and I want to give some warnings about Labrador Tea itself. So some other names for this tea are bog Labrador tea or swamp tea, also Hudson's Bay tea. So for my own use of this plant, when I lived in the city, one of my favorite things to do was just to ball out at the natural health store. I would buy any tea that I came across that kind of spiked my interest, even if I didn't know anything about it. Labrador tea was one of those teas that I purchased, and I absolutely loved the flavor. So much that it pushed me towards learning more about Labrador tea. And when I got to this place, I searched for it high and low. It seemed like I searched for it for ages, but looking back, it was really only a little over a year that I was looking for it. I've been out probably for an hour or two now. I haven't made it that far. I've been looking for Labrador tea. Not sure if I'll find it today, but it's been a great day looking for it. Soon enough, I think this land will be ready to show me where it is. It's an evergreen plant, and so you can harvest it all year round, and so I was looking for it in the winter. It took me a whole revolution to find this plant, and when I found it, I was overjoyed. Alright, so let me show you this plant. So here it is. There's the Labrador tea. Right behind me you have sheep laurel, or also called bog laurel, and then in the front here you have leatherleaf. So leatherleaf and bog laurel or sheep's laurel are two plants that look a lot like Labrador tea, but they are toxic plants, and so stay away from those. You want to focus on Labrador tea here. There are clear ways of telling the difference between these two toxic plants and Labrador tea. So right next to the Labrador tea, you have leatherleaf growing here. You could tell it's a very different plant. It doesn't have that fuzzy underbelly. And then if I pan over, you have the Labrador tea right here. That's Labrador tea. You could tell because it's got that orange fuzzy underbelly. It's got a beautiful smell. And then right next to that, you have the bog laurel or the sheep laurel. And this will have really showy pink flowers in the spring, whereas Labrador tea will have white flowers. So you got both toxic lookalikes growing right next to it here. But you can see I'm right next to a lake, and so Labrador tea grows in all but water. It loves wet, acidic soils, so it'll grow in bogs, on shorelines like this. So let's talk about the plant's life cycle. It flowers from late May to July. The new shoots of the season originate at the base of the flower cluster. Its seeds ripen in the fall and they often persist on the plant for many months. Each seed pod contains about 50 tiny seeds each. The plant spreads through its rhizomes, and that is its strongest form of reproduction vegetatively. It can also propagate through its seeds, although it's a lot less common. Historically, this plant has been used to repel ghosts and also hung up in closets to repel moths. It's also been smoked traditionally, and I have tried it as a smoke. It is very nice. It has a beautiful taste and a great smoke. It's a northern herb. It is a native plant. In French, the name of this tea is Thé du Labrador. So, giving recognition to the people who have spoken about this plant as a medicinal herb. So, Arthur Haynes, in his book Ancestral Plants Volume 1, he talks about the First Nation tribes that used Labrador tea. He talks about the plant having a long history of use in folk medicine for skin ailments, insect bites, poison ivy, cuts. He talks about the infusion being a diaphoretic and a diuretic, meaning that it aids in the loss of fluids through sweating and urination. Talks about the fact that the tea is an expectorant and so it helps break down the mucus in the body. He does give a warning about excessive and prolonged use of this tea. It is reported to cause irritation of the digestive system as well as the nervous system because of the phytochemical lidol. But he does go on to say that usually reports like this are based on a ludicrous amount of consumption, and he says that he's been drinking Labrador tea without any harmful effects after many years of infrequent use. I also want to talk about Gérard Legal and Ariane Paré-Legal. They are the authors of the book Forêt, and I think they're kind of celebrities here in Quebec. So in their book, they do talk about Labrador tea. They talk about its use during the Great Depression. They talk about its use by the coureurs des bois when their own stash of tea was getting low. They talk about the health benefits of Labrador tea as being an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. They talk about its use in aiding with pain and to help with headaches. They also talk about its benefits with treating anxiety, helping with stress, and helping with thyroid imbalances. They do talk about the warnings that have been issued about Labrador tea, but they say that there are no real contraindications for this plant. They say to avoid it if you're pregnant, but other than that, just stick to an infusion and not a decoction, and stick to 1 to 2 cups a day. Yarrow Willard, the herbal Jedi, talks about this plant in great detail. He is a second generation master herbalist. His father, Terry Willard, is a PhD and he is the founder of the Wild Rose Herbal College. I've been watching Yarrow Willard's videos for a while. I love his way of thinking and the way he presents the information. And so if you haven't already checked him out, I highly suggest that you do. He talks about the plant being great for uplifting the mood, treating seasonal affective disorder, treating the winter blues, and giving you lucid dreams. He talks a lot about the fact that the plant has very potent chemistry in it. He talks about the triterpenes, the sesquiterpenes, The fact that it has a lot of tannins, lots of antioxidants, lots of vitamin C, it has flavonoid compounds and other trace minerals. He mentions that it's a great plant to move toxins out of the body and that it's great for decongesting the liver and the kidneys. He mentions that it's been studied in Russia for its anti-mutagenic properties, and so suggests that it might be an interesting plant to work with cancer. He does mention that some people consider this plant to be a hallucinogenic plant in high doses, but not the fun kind. So he does also give a warning about consumption of this plant. He mentions that it's more a plant that you would use when you need to get rid of certain things. It's not a plant that you're going to consume constantly, but he does mention that he drinks about 1 to 2 cups pretty much daily in the winter. Anyway, I'll let you watch his video if you're interested. Here's a direct link. Another video by Joseph Pitawanakwat, who is the founder of Creator's Garden, talks about the benefits of Labrador tea and discusses the colonization efforts to remove Labrador tea from the stove of the indigenous people. His video on Labrador tea is called "Why Are We So Obsessed with Labrador Tea?" And the link to this video is right here. Elder Bertha Sky, who has served as the resident elder for many universities, has a video where she talks about drinking it as a child and talks about the medicinal benefits of it, and she gives no warnings about the consumption of this tea. And her video is right here if you're interested to watch. How I'm looking forward to using this plant going forward in ways that I haven't used yet is topically. I would love to use it in a sauna once I get a sauna. Because it's a diuretic, I feel like it would be great to induce sweat in a sauna. I also want to use it in a bath because I know that it is supposed to be good for arthritis and joint pain. I'm also looking forward to using the seeds of this plant to try and get it to grow closer to my house, starting seedlings, so that I can harvest Labrador tea all year round, just steps away from my house. So I do want to give some warnings about this plant. It should not be consumed when pregnant, and it should be known that it will make alcohol more intoxicating. It's also a narcotic, and so it does have body-altering effects. And although the tea from this plant does not contain any caffeine, it will have a similar effect on your body.
Have a little song, won't take long. Sing it right, once or twice. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in part. Everything I got is done in part. Pawn my watch, pawn my chain, pawn everything that was in my name. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my buggy, horse and cot, pawn everything that was on my lot. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. Pawn my chair, pawn my bed, ain't got nowhere to lay my head. Oh, out of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in pawn. Everything I got is done in pawn. everything that was in my sight. Oh, Lord of me, didn't I
So that's it for
share
Labrador
sugar?
Tea. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video on Labrador Tea. I hope you learned a lot. And my number one hope is that you are motivated to go out and deepen your connection with nature. See you on the next one, guys.
Have a little secret I ain't gonna tell. I'm going to heaven in a ground pea shell. Oh, Lord of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Palm my farm, palm my plow, pawn everything, even pawn my old cow. Oh, Lord of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done in palm. Pawn my hat, pawn my shoes, pawn everything that I could use. Oh, Lord of me, didn't I shake sugary? Everything I got is done in palm. Everything I got is done